Hey guys, it's Kevin again, and in this video, I'm finally going to be reviewing the Vampire Diaries, Season 5, Episode 2, True Lies. This was also a very interesting episode. There were some really interesting things that happened. They went a couple different directions I really didn't expect them to go in, and I accidentally just almost FaceTimed my mother there, so sorry about that. This episode went in pretty unexpected directions that I didn't think they were going to go in, and I was actually very happy with the directions in. One of them is a little strange, but I'm happy we're getting into that storyline again. So let's just get to the big part of it, with the main storyline, which of course had to do with Damon and Elena and all of them. And basically, this is them now searching for Stefan. They don't know where Stefan is, and it's all about where Stefan is and everything like that. And basically, we see that, the first thing we see is that, Stefan has this dream sequence. He's basically imagining, lying with Elena on the grass by a waterfall, and, basically, it looked like one from a previous episode, because Elena looked really, really young, and basically, Elena asked why Stefan had them there. He's basically remembering the good moments, and it's not really just, dream sequence, he's remembering things. And they kissed all together, and Dream Elena, though, started to cough up water, and real Stefan was coming to again, so he could drown again. So, that's basically what was going on there, and, I gotta feel bad for the guy. I do feel bad for the guy, and it's kind of sad. So basically, Damon had taken Caroline's mom to the quarry. He assumes since that's where they were going to drop Silas's body, that's where Silas drops Stefan. And Damon was definitely right about this. And this is basically the reason it was called True Lies. The reason it was called True Lies is because Damon forgot to tell. Damon did not tell Elena. That he found Silas and all that. So, basically, Elena actually sees who she thinks is Stefan, but really it's Silas. Elena, she calls Damon to tell him about the, everything, something else that happened in the episode, which I'll get to. And Damon asked her, well, actually, why don't we just get to that? Basically, Elena accidentally switched classes for her and Caroline. Kind of a funny storyline, basically. I thought this was a funny storyline. Caroline was basically being classic Caroline, basically by complaining about the size of Megan's memorial, and, she was just being the silly character that she is. And she's talking about Tyler, and she says she vowed never to have sex with him again. I thought that was really funny. Her death certificate gave the cause of death suicide and mentioned nothing about the vampire marks on her neck. Now, this is about Nick, and they realized that. So basically, someone was covering it up. So basically, Dr. Wesley Maxfield, they basically had to tell that person. Elena got them enrolled in his applied microbiology class to investigate. Caroline was very upset. She was expecting intercommunication. So that's basically what was going on there. It's actually quite funny because Caroline was just like comic relief this episode. Not really something usually we see, but I thought it was fun to see Caroline comic relief. I thought that was cool to see. But not really comic relief. I mean, there are a lot of funny characters in the show, but Caroline was really funny. So Elena basically called Damon about it, and Damon asked her if she pressed him for information, and she says, at least tell me you used torture, and, basically, Elena sees Stefan, she thinks it's Stefan, and, she basically says, I knew Damon, basically, Silas basically lies to her, and says that, what was it that Silas said? Silas told Elena to turn off her phone, and she did. And basically, Stefan told her he knew she's upset that he didn't call, And that's basically the first thing he said. He said, I'm really upset I didn't call. Really looked like Stefan. And she hugged him. She said she had been worried something terrible had happened to him. And he said basically that she fell in love with his brother. And Cyrus's plan was basically to make her angry at Damon. He told her that Jeremy had become expelled, and when Jeremy and Damon got into a fight, Jeremy bolted. He told her he was there to see if she knew where Jeremy was. So, basically, she was very, very upset at Damon at this point, and Silas kind of put her under this trance. This was very cool to see. So, basically, Damon arrived at the dorm room, and we got one of the funniest parts in the whole episode. Caroline, we see Caroline in a towel, and she's like, Damon, towel, knock! I thought that was hilarious. And then he's like, Caroline, no one cares, no! And that was really funny. But, so that was really funny. And then he told her, I thought that was one of the funniest parts. And then he basically told her about Silas being on campus, and she told him about Elena having a weird feeling that something was wrong with Stefan. Silas basically got a text that someone had just seen Jeremy en route, Jeremy. And Elena said there was an old campsite they used to go to that way. By the time Damon finally caught up to Silas, he was no longer with Elena. Damon grabbed Silas by the neck. He wanted to know where Elena was. Silas says he understands why Damon likes her. He has soft spot for pets. And then he delivers one of the funniest lines of the episode. Silas doesn't understand why Elena likes Damon, and Damon says, that's because you haven't had sex with me. That was one of the funniest parts of the episode, is when Damon said that. That was like one of the best lines of the night. And then Silas did not tell Damon what he's done with Elena, because what fun would that? Because why would Silas tell Damon, and then Damon would see her soon enough? And that's basically what happened here. So Caroline basically had to go with him to the bonfire, and she basically states the obvious. Caroline was just being an idiot this episode. She's kind of like, shouldn't Damon really have kept this a secret? Silas being a mobile secret from Elena. And Damon was in this bad mood, nearly kicked some guy's ass. I'm just reading stuff here, by the way, guys. Caroline compelled the guy to forget Damon's little outbursts, and we're going to get to that with Caroline in a second. Elena was somewhere else filling up her regret, drinking some beer probably. And she's kind of under this trance now. This is really cool to see. I really like this part. This definitely was really cool. Elena basically got angry again after Damon told her about Bonnie's father being killed, and admitting he hadn't thought to check on Bonnie. And basically, because she's like lighting matches, Damon had time to try to calm her down to defeat Silas's mind control. She basically just kept getting angrier and angrier, and she was about to call pyro when she almost started gas fire. And then Caroline said another one of the funniest parts. They need to set ground rules for when boyfriends come to visit. That was really funny, too. I really love that part. That was really funny. So then basically, so as I said, Elena was under this mind control, basically, and she basically, almost tried to kill him, and that's basically what happened with their storyline. But then, after all this happened, she finally went back, to herself. She didn't realize what she was doing, and he broke mind control, and, they go to the college. Elena says goodbye to Caroline. Caroline is staying at the school to figure out what's happening there while she goes off with Damon and Stefan. And basically, Damon walked up as Max Field walked up. Damon basically that's how Damon said with honesty that moment with them was so great. Damon showed her that he'd snagged Stefan's daylight ring back from Silas the other day, and then basically we get the biggest moment of the night. Oh, but before we got some kissing from Elena and Damon, and they kissed and everything, and then basically Liz phoned Damon, and apparently they didn't find anything in the quarry, but they did find the safe on land a few miles away. And basically it wasn't Stefan they found, it was a drained human body. And basically it says, you're right, he was hungry, and he still is. Then basically Damon says, what? And it ends with, basically, here's what I think happened. I think it's the Ripper. It's definitely the Ripper. Silas knows he has a better plan of catching Catherine if Damon and Elena are preoccupied trying to find human blood, so he lets Stefan out, obviously. So obviously, Stefan is now the Ripper. We're going to have to see what happens here. And I really like the main storyline. I thought it was a really, really great. I really like that storyline. So now let's get to the probably most heartbreaking. Oh, let's talk about Jeremy and Catherine first, because Jeremy and Catherine were really funny in this episode. I thought it was quite funny just for all of them. So Catherine is basically trying to get over, still being human and everything, and yeah. So we see that she's trying to get over still being human and all that stuff. So Catherine's on this run from the car. She's on this is from the car accident. She's bruised and she was laughing basically, but this woman stopped to help her. She looked like she basically says she looked like Elena, which is what Stefan told everyone to look for. That's the person Stefan told everyone to look. Stefan told everyone to look for. Not Stefan Silas. Not so Stefan Silas. That's what Silas told everyone to look for. And she says actually much prettier. The woman literally maces her, and then she says she was going to call Silas, and then human Catherine lunged at her and took her to the ground. Only difference, and that's basically what happened there. And Matt came out with a shotgun and saved, but captured Catherine, basically. She captured her. He captured her. So that's what basically happened to Catherine. And basically with Catherine and Jeremy, they're both trying to, Jeremy was at this, actually when Elaine was running where Jeremy was, he was actually at this gas station with Matt and Catherine, and he had this, she had a sinus infection, and she, that's basically what happened there, and Matt had to get rough with the guy working behind the counter, because he spotted Catherine and was reporting it into Silas, because apparently Matt is working for Silas now, which I thought was interesting, so. But then after this, at the campsite, we learned Catherine's never shot a gun in her life and all this stuff like that, so that's basically what was going on with Catherine. But then we got some stuff with Matt, and this was actually really unexpected. I didn't really expect this to happen. Silas actually found Matt and told him he couldn't talk or scream, only Matt could do both, and he yelled for Jeremy to run, and he basically grabbed him, and literally he died. Matt died in this episode. He snapped Matt's neck. And then, that's basically what happened with Matt. He snapped his neck. And then, basically we see Bonnie. And Bonnie, we see that this Gilbert brain brings him to the other side each time he dies. He returns to his body when he finds it to catch. And every time he dies, he starts off farther away from his body. And that's why it takes longer to return each time. Which is really cool because, a lot of people have wondered, where's Matt? Why is he dead? And that's basically what's happened to Matt all this time. And basically Matt asked why he could see Bonnie if he's on the other side. And, we start to see more with, we start to see more with Matt. He was still, with Bonnie. And Bonnie kind of gives a speech on how she doesn't like being immortal. She doesn't want to be immortal anymore. She wants to go back to her human self. But she knows it's not going to be, it's not going to be easy to do that, obviously. So, she really broke down, and I really liked her storyline. I thought it was a really good storyline. I really liked her acting in this episode. Pat Graham had some really great lines in this episode, so that was great. The only last thing we have to talk about is, Caroline. Now, Caroline actually, found a love interest in this episode. That guy, Jesse, that Damon, hurt, she basically, fixes his, is tending to his wounds and everything, and they actually start to have a connection. So I wonder if this guy Jesse is going to be Caroline's love interest for this season. It seems like every season she has some sort of a love interest, so I think he's probably going to be her love interest for this season. So, great episode, guys. Again, I really enjoyed it. Do you think the Ripper is back? Do you think the Ripper is back? Do you think that do you think the Ripper's back? Do you think Stefan is the Ripper? Let's with Silas. Do you think Silas made Stefan the Ripper? Um, uh, Matt and Bonnie. Do you think there's a way that Matt and Bonnie could go back to being human because she hates being immortal? She really does not like being a ghost anymore. She doesn't like it. What do you think about the whole thing with Matt and everything? And this guy Jesse, do you think him and Caroline have this connection? What do you guys think? That's it for my review. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Okay, bye.